I'd like to call to order the City of Maricopa Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on March 11, 2024 at 6 p.m. We'll have the invocation by Commissioner Irvin, followed by the pledge with Commissioner Hughes. Please rise if you're able to and wish to participate.
Let's bow your heads. Dear Father, thank you again for another day. And we are always so thankful for the blessings you've given us as individuals, and also the blessings you've given us, our wonderful, wonderful city. Continue to be with the children as they go about their spring break. And as we go about our deliberations tonight, let us be respectful of each other, respectful of their feelings, and above all, what you've told us, that you've asked us to always love one another. Thank you so much for being there, guiding us, leading us. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. That'll take us to the call to the public. If you're here, roll call. Roll call first, thank you.
So Commissioner Brems?
Here.
Commissioner Wattis?
Here.
Vice Chair Singleton?
Here.
Chair Robertson?
Here.
Commissioner Irving? Sorry.
Irvington's fine. Here.
Commissioner Yoakum?
Here.
And Commissioner Hughes?
Here.
Thank you.
Chair Robertson, we have a quorum.
For the call to the public tonight, if you're here to speak on the dispensary case, we will entertain your questions at that time. But if anybody would like to make a call to the public to address the commission, if you wish to speak, please complete a speaker card and submit it to the chairman prior to the start of the meeting. The procedures to follow if you address the commission are: the commission requests you express your ideas in 3 minutes or less, and refrain from any personal attacks or derogatory statements about any city employee, a fellow citizen, or anyone else, whether in the audience or not. The chairman will limit discussion when deems such action appropriate for proper conduct of the meeting. So the call to the public is open. Does anybody would like to address the commission? Seeing none, we'll close the call to the public. Next item on the agenda will be approval of our minutes from the previous meeting. Entertain a motion.
So move approval as submitted.
Motion by Commissioner Irvin to approve, second by Commissioner Yoakum. Can we have a vote, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Our regular agenda takes us to 5.1, Conditional Use Permit 24-01. It's a public hearing. We will entertain the public comments for the public hearing after the staff presentation. This will be by True Live of Maricopa, a request for approval of a conditional use permit allowing for the construction and operation of a qualified marijuana dispensary located in the future South Bridge Commercial Center at the southeast corner of West Honeycutt Road and North John Wayne Parkway. This will be for discussion and action by the commission. Take it away, Derek.
Good evening, Chairman Robertson, members of the Commission. Derek Shear with the Planning Division of the Development Services Department, here to present Agenda Item 5.1, Conditional Use Permit CUP 24-01, an application by True Leave of Maricopa. As you can see here on the vicinity map, and there we go, highlighted right there with the site indicated. The applicant is proposing to develop a qualified marijuana dispensary at the southeast corner of West Honeycutt and North John Wayne Parkway. The site will be accessed from West Honeycutt Avenue. The site will occupy a building of approximately 3,563 square feet. Development of the site that's not a part of this application is going to include 2 buildings that were approved previously by this commission and staff under DRP 23-10. Overall, the site is going to provide 66 parking spaces with 28 parking spaces dedicated to the proposed qualified marijuana dispensary use. As we can see here, here's a close-up of the site location and the site development. On the right-hand side of the site plan, building number 2, that is the location for the qualified marijuana dispensary. As you can see, there will be parking right in front of it, just beyond right in front of it and all around. The site has already been approved for its landscaping and its design, its parking, everything. This is just an application for use of that building as a qualified marijuana dispensary. Here I have some renderings of the proposed building. As you can see, it's been well apportioned with architectural details along the front, which is the top left, the rear, which is the top right. That's what's facing Honeycutt Avenue there. The lower left is a side elevation that's facing the south, and then on the north is the bottom right. The staff has detailed in the report to the commission that the proposed use is conditionally allowed within this applicable zoning district, which is the general commercial. As a conditional use, it has to meet certain, lost my train of thought there, has to meet certain conditions under section 18.120.160 qualified marijuana facilities in the zoning ordinance. As detailed in the report, the applicant has. The conditional use permit process has an applicant apply to the planning and zoning when then presented to this commission. This commission is the deciding body for conditional use permits. So after this presentation, the commission would vote yay, nay for approval of this conditional use. Conditional uses, once they meet all of the conditions laid out in the zoning ordinance, they are essentially a by right use as long as they meet all of those conditions of approval. Staff has gone through all the different conditions in the staff report, which is available in front of the commission, also available through the city, that outlines all of the different conditions and how the applicant is addressing those. Approval of the project is consistent with the goals and objectives and the policies of the general plan and other applicable plans. The location, size, design, operating characteristics of the proposed project are consistent with the purposes of the zoning district where it's located and the conditional use that they're applying under. The project will not be injurious to or detrimental to property or improvements in the neighborhood or the general welfare of the city. For public outreach, the applicant was required to mail notices to property owners within 600 feet of the site, which they have on February 1st of this year. A sign was posted on the site advertising the neighborhood meeting and also this commission meeting on February 2nd. On February 6th, notice was posted in the Casa Grande Dispatch. A neighborhood meeting was held on February 22nd. There was no members of the public in attendance. I attended it personally to kind of see what was going on with the meeting, and no one attended. And now we're here at the public hearing on March 11th. Staff has received one email of opposition to the proposal, and that's been included in the commissioner's packet as under Exhibit F. Staff recommends the Planning Commission approve the True Leave of Maricopa conditional use permit request, case number CUP 24-01, subject to the conditions of approval stated in the staff report. I'm happy to answer any questions that the commission may have. The applicant is here, and the applicant has a presentation as well, should the commission like to see it.
I think we'd like to go ahead and see the presentation from the applicant before we open up to discussion and questions.
Oh, thank you so much. My name's Andrew Bauer. I work for True Leave. I've been a part of True Leave for the last 3 years now. So True Leave is a multi-state operator in the cannabis industry. Our home base is Florida. In 2021, True Leave acquired Harvest Health and Recreation. That's kind of the Arizona brand. Harvest was one of the original medical operators in Arizona, and by True Leave acquiring Harvest, they got their footprint, and now True Leave is the largest dispensary operator in Arizona at this time. As Derek mentioned, for this application, southeast corner, Honeycutt Avenue, John Wayne Parkway, it's about 3,500 square feet. Hours of operation are going to be 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily. As I do a lot of work in other cities, that's pretty standard across the state right now. Only one district or area does 24 hours, and that's Guadalupe. So 8 to 10 is kind of the standard operating procedure right now in the state. Project details, this just kind of shows the map again in a little bit closer view of where that building is on the property, set back from John Wayne Parkway. And this, just to give you a couple examples of what stores look like. So this is a True Leave in Ohio. One thing I really want to point out is branding, and I know a big issue is advertising to kids. Well, you know, you hear cannabis, you think neon signs, you think Bob Marley, you think big, attractive things. That is not how cannabis operates in Arizona. That's not how True Leave operates. This building is pretty standard operating procedure for us. We base our rules based off city, but we have a sign, a logo, and that's it. There's no big neon sign, no buy weed here, anything like that. So it's inviting in the sense that it's not dangerous, but it is not a blinking, flashing light, buy your liquor here. This is the inside of our city of Roosevelt Rose, what we call it. It's the Phoenix dispensary. So you'd walk in, there'd be a desk there. That's where our ID processing starts. That's how we keep people that aren't supposed to be in the dispensary out of the dispensary. That's block number one, very important there. And then this right here is the dispensary floor. So a couple of things about this is, one, anything that you see out on a counter or in a display is what we call dummy product. It is a box with nothing inside. So if somebody comes in with bad intentions and they want to take free or try to get weed that they shouldn't have, they can have an empty cardboard box. We will not stop them. They're going to be pretty disappointed when they get outside. Then behind closer, you can see the counter where the monitors are. That's going to be where the dispensary agent and the patient or customer are going to work together to get either the recreational product or medical product. Everything comes in a sealed bag. That ID is checked again at the point of sale. So if you are able to jam your way through the front desk, which doesn't happen, but in that case, there is another barrier of that point of sale to keep underage or people that shouldn't be in the dispensary from accessing cannabis. Speaking more on security, one thing that's very important to us is that close collaboration with law enforcement. I know there was an article in Maricopa online section talking about the security concerns and police concerns. True Leave has already had one meeting with the police department here. We have another one on the books. We employ police officers. I want to say the two that run our security in Arizona have 50 years of experience as law enforcement, Pima County Sheriff. So it's not something that we take lightly. Cannabis itself is very stigmatized. There are bad actors. We feel security is the number one priority to us. These licenses, I'm very honest about it, they're very valuable. And if we have lax security or a bunch of underage people any underage people, the state will take our license from us and then we cannot operate. So it is not something of like, oh, we do it just because it's important. It's business priority number one. If we don't have a safe, secure facility, our dispensary agents don't feel good going in, customers won't join or come in as well, so it's not really an optional thing. Another thing to point out about the security, all of the facilities have 24/7 video monitoring with 365 cameras that cover the whole building. And because of that, we've actually had instances where the police department will come to us at other facilities, hey, somebody robbed the Subway down the street. Can we see if they walked in front of your store? And we're able to pull that footage. right away, hand it over, work in collaboration with anything that we can to help them. So that collaboration is a real thing. We want to be a good neighbor. We want to be supportive of everybody in the community. So that's with working with the police department. The other, again, stigmatized side of cannabis is we're trying to sell drugs to kids. It couldn't be the furthest from the truth. Everything we do in our stores are meant to stop diversion to youth. So that's the double ID check. The advertising is nearly non-existent. None of the third parties that we use do, you can't have Fruity Pebble looking cannabis that's going to appeal to kids. You can't have it in a Skittles bag that you might see other intoxicants that they kind of mimic or mock that kind of step there. And again, it's this ID check, I just really hit on it hard because if it comes out that any underage is served, we lose our license. It's not like Circle K that, hey, I know the one on Gilbert and McKellips, they don't check IDs, we're good. That isn't a thing in cannabis because of the value of these licenses. It's just a zero tolerance policy. The other side of it is we want to be a good member of the community. So our stores offer, I'm not going to give employment opportunities. And most of the time what we've found is what works best for us is employing the people that are closest to the store. People feel more comfortable trying cannabis or coming into a dispensary when there's somebody that looks like them behind the counter. So you'll go into a dispensary and you'll see somebody that looks like me, older gentleman, bigger guy, small, across the board. So it's a very diverse employment opportunity. And the other thing that is really great about cannabis, there isn't this hierarchy that's built into a lot of traditional retail operations. If you go work in Dillard's, you're going to be combating somebody that has 25 years of retail experience to advance. In cannabis, it's only been legal in Arizona for 10 years. So even if somebody has 10 years and you're still new, that's, as somebody that's tried to climb the ladder, it's a lot easier going up against somebody that has 3 to 5 years versus that 20-year gap. So I really enjoy that part about cannabis and the employment side of it. And then again, more of that community involvement is we do give back to the community in doing register roundups and things like that and support charities, but we also get our hands dirty, support the communities we're in. And this picture here was actually taken on Saturday. We were, the gentleman on the top left is our state cultivator director, the woman on the top right is our new product developers, and then the two ladies in front are from marketing. We're at Central and Baseline de-weeding a community garden for the Tiger Foundation that supports recently paroled and ex-cons to help them honestly learn about gardening and use that as therapy. So there was about 85 people from the cannabis community there on Saturday, de-weeding an area used for kids to use a playground and then people to learn about gardening as just a way to heal their soul, honestly. So both, yes, we do support via financial donations and involvement with groups like 1 in 10 or Epilepsy Foundation, things that kind of align with the cannabis community. But the gentleman on the top left, his name's Tommy. That was his passion. He came to Trulieve, said, hey, can we go support these guys? And the cannabis community got behind him, and when we went out there and did a couple hours of community service. So it's something that I just use that picture. It's not a different state. It's not 3 years ago. That's literally on Instagram from Saturday. And that really takes it through. I'm here for questions of, different cannabis related or anything I can help set your minds at ease. Would love to welcome everybody to a dispensary or a cultivation at any time.
Thank you, Andrew. Yes, Commissioner Hughes.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation. It was very informative. I have a couple of questions. You have any idea what's going to be in the other building that's not going to be occupied by you?
At this time, I do not.
Okay. Do you have any idea of your projected sales from this establishment and how much tax money will the city of Maricopa receive from it?
I don't have that, but I can get you estimates from other stores and cities that we're in already.
Well, I think that's an important question.
Okay.
I mean, you're asking this board to approve your venture, and I think some of the information we'd like to know, I'd like to know what your gross sales are gonna be and how much money it's gonna generate in extra sales for the city of Maricopa.
Chair Robertson and Commissioner Hughes, as much as I appreciate the question, and it sounds like he's willing to share, financial impacts are not a part of zoning, so it's not something that should be considered tonight.
Thank you, Tina. But before we go on with more commission questions, I'd like to go ahead and open the public hearing to see if we have any questions from the public that either staff or Mr. Andrew can address. So the public hearing is open. Do we have anybody who would like to address this issue? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and we'll continue with comments from the commission. Commissioner Irvin.
Yeah. First of all, I obviously no objection to the sale of marijuana. Here's my concern. Basically, I know our code talks about 1,500 feet from building to building. The problem with that concept is the issue, the conception is a building is where kids will be and they'll be programmed. You can't apply that same concept at the school district because there are softball and baseball fields where there will be kids, okay? I guess the issue I have, and your security sounds great. Here's what I envision, knowing some of our creative young people in the community, that there's a softball game. So somebody 25 years old goes over, legally buys it, goes over to the hot dog stand and sells it. So I think, again, I'm torn between you have a right to do it, you've gone way beyond, but the whole issue of how will you work with the school district, with the police department, to try to stop basically people buying it legally, walking across the street where there are 2,000 kids' activities. That's my concern, because again, when this came up to us before, and I voted for it, but yet it was turned down because of that. So that's my concern, not the issue of marijuana, not the issue of health, not any of that, but that's what I see in my mind. Somebody say, man, there are 400 kids at the baseball game tonight. I'm going to go over and make a four. I mean, I've seen kids go over and sell sugar cubes to kids at that's my concern. And I know it's not totally on you, but that's what I have an issue with, the close proximity.
Of course, and thank you for that, Commissioner. One thing that I would kind of say to that is starting that relationship that we're having with the police department now. Every sale that happens in a dispensary is videoed constantly. We can, if I go in and I buy $100 worth of cannabis, and then the chief catches me at the ballpark selling, or even sees me distributing, he can then work, come to us. We'll go back, find the camera, okay, it was between 5 to 6, and we'll be able to work hand in hand together, because that, quite honestly, is then just selling drugs. Like that, full stop. Then we're doing everything we can to support the police in stopping that.
Anyone else? Commissioner Yocum.
Yeah, excuse me. The package suggests that as far as traffic is concerned, the city staff is to determine the needed improvements, and adjoining streets and infrastructure will occur in the first phase of the development. How is that going to be funded? Is that going to be by the city, by you folks, or a combination thereof?
Derek, I don't have that answer.
Hi, Chairman Robertson, Commissioner Yocum. Yes, with the first phase of development, it's development of that whole South Bridge area. Determination, the road's already been determined. What that'll be is, if anything, development south of this site would be, but that would be sort of for the property owner south of them, picking up, developing that connection to the Honeycutt Avenue right there. Currently, the city is under construction of the Honeycutt Avenue extension that's extending all the way through the property to the north and then all the way over to the east, where it joins to the property for Rainsman Commons.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? I have a couple comments, probably for Andrew. Could you pull up that slide, the photo of your library, the lobby area that shows the door?
I was going to say, hopefully somebody else can. All right, let me give it a shot here.
One more, I think. Right
This
there.
one?
Yep. Is that door locked?
Yes.
Okay, it
So-
stays locked until your identification age is verified?
Yep. Secure
And
it,
then
yeah.
it's open to escort only that person in at a time?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a little button under the desk that
Okay.
unlocks it.
I'm assuming, I think I read it in the package, unaccompanied minors are, nobody under 21 is allowed, even if they're accompanied.
Correct, with the caveat of medical with a
Medical.
caregiver, yes.
That's what I thought. You indicated that, violations could cause True Leave to lose their state license. Is that per facility, or you lose your license to do business in the state totally?
No, so the way that the Department of Health, or the state, the voters honestly, set up the program, it's individual licenses, so they would lose, so True Leave has 21 licenses. They would lose that one license.
Okay. You also, in the package, it indicated some form of security control center that's monitored
Yes.
24/7. Is that an off-site?
Yeah, so that's covered in Florida. That's where I think they call it the SOC, is headquartered and is monitored.
Okay, so if alarm goes off, they can immediately start watching live
Yep.
and
Yeah, and then
and
so
talk directly with police?
Yep, and we also have security personnel in Arizona as well. So this is our third biggest hub. So there's 3 or 4 individuals in like the Tempe kind of Maricopa area. Then our 2 leadership are actually in Tucson, so they would honestly come up quicker than the Tempe folks.
Okay, but there's not after-hour on-site
No.
person? It's digital, electronic?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think that answered my question.
I think Commissioner Juarez had a couple.
Yep. Go ahead.
I didn't
Commissioner
want to
Juarez.
do your job, Chair. I apologize.
All righty. Thank you, Andrew, for your presentation.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
informative. I just have 2 questions here. Is it going to be, this facility, is it going to be for medical and recreational, or just one?
No, so the way that the code is set up in Maricopa, it's a dual license, so it's both medical and recreational.
Okay. And then to expand on the question that came from the commission regarding minors. If minors cannot enter, then I don't know if I caught this right, but if a parent brings in the kid because the kid is using it,
It then becomes a medical side of it. The child would have to have a medical card, and the parent would have to have a caregiver license. So the Department of Health kind of controls that side of it. They would have to show both. Both would have to be current.
okay. So then if I have a son and he has a problem that requires the use of marijuana medically, I can bring him in, but no one else, no other minor can come in but myself and my son.
If he has a medical card and you have your
right.
caregiver.
If he meets all the criteria,
Yep.
he's the only one that can accompany me.
Correct.
Okay. So then my next question is, I remember a while back we talked about a development coming in to be built across the street from you, which is commercial, and then to the east is going to be residential. I don't know if we can take that in consideration or not, but how are you going to address that?
I don't think.
Hi, Commissioner Robertson, Commissioner Juarez. The separation distances are laid out in the ordinance for minimum separation. Where this facility is proposing to locate, it exceeds those minimum separations for all of that. So by code, they meet the code for those separation requirements.
Right. No, and the only reason I bring that question up, because the public will want to know that we addressed that, and it was clarified that the facility is outside that boundary. And that's the only reason I asked that question. I understood by his explanation and going through his application here.
Yes, and if I can add more, location for a qualified marijuana facility, there's protected facilities. They're listed in our zoning ordinance. Those will include other marijuana facilities, daycare centers, public-private parks, religious facilities, civic facilities, group residential care homes, public-private charter schools, residential district boundaries. It's laid out minimum separation requirements from them, and this location exceeds those minimum separation requirements for all of those protected uses.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to congratulate Andrew here for a job well done, well explained. It looks like you really want to be a good business person here, partner with the city, and then also you want to be a good neighbor to the city. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Commissioner Singleton?
So Derek, I just want to clarify a little bit on future developments. If something does come in later that does fall within those boundaries, it's not really subject to that, right? So like if, I don't know, a park ends up being within that 500, tough luck kind of thing? Or?
Chairman Robertson, Commissioner Singleton, I wouldn't phrase it as tough luck. What it is, this use would be established. There wouldn't, if any other protected use established itself within that separation requirement, it would be, for lack of a better term, grandfathered in. They're conforming. Any other use coming in would not put this use into violation.
Perfect, thank you.
Any comments? Okay, we'll call for a motion.
So moved.
Could we have the motion stated, please?
Motion to approve CUP 24-01
Do we have
as
a
stands.
second? Second by Commissioner Hughes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
That takes us to a report from staff.
Thank you, Chairman Robertson, members of the commission. Just to give you an update on upcoming meetings, we will not be having a meeting on the 25th. Friday was the notification deadline, and we don't have any projects that would meet those requirements. So our next scheduled meeting is April 8th, and I believe that's going to be a TAC meeting as well. So with that, sir, that concludes my informational item. Thank you.
Any comments or questions from the commission for staff? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.